All right. When I started creating this presentation, I didn't know much about the metaverse, and I didn't know much about advertising in the metaverse. So for me, when I was thinking in how it looked a little bit like this.
Behold, the internet!
My God, it's full of ads.
Follow me! So we are going to find out if advertising in the metaverse actually looks like that by the end of the presentation. So what I have done is that I have taken a look to the past, the present, and the future of advertising in the metaverse. Because for me, you can't understand what we're doing right now if we don't know where we come from. And we don't know where we're going if we actually don't understand what we're doing right now. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Azara Corrales, and I'm Senior Paid Media Manager at Education Cube. Education Cube is an agency specialized in higher education, and we just started recently working in all things metaverse, and that's the reason why I'm here today, to tell you everything about it. And just in case that you are wondering, that is the best football team in the world, Rayo Vallecano. So let's start with the basic. What is the metaverse? I'm sure that each one of you have different concepts in your mind of what the metaverse is. So I went to our new best friend, ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT to give us a definition of the metaverse, and this is what it came with. So as you can see, it's very long, so I just come back to it later. But what I want you to remember about it is three things. The first one is that the metaverse is a virtual universe where users can interact with each other. The second one is that these users are represented by avatars. And the third one is that it features a virtual currency that can be used to purchase virtual goods and services. So three things, yeah? Virtual universe with avatars and a virtual currency to purchase things. And I'm sure right now you're thinking, yeah, but why should I care about this? The metaverse is not going to think still like in many years, right? Well, this is why you should care. Virtual and augmented reality could deliver a 1.4 trillion boost to the global economy by 2030. And by 2026, 1 in every 4 people will spend at least an hour a day in the metaverse. So I'm sure that now I have your attention because money is involved. So let's start. And we are going to start taking a look to the past. And I'm going to tell you a story. Those of you who know me knows that I love telling stories, so here's the first one. When I was around 10 years old, my parents got me a PlayStation 1 for Christmas. It was one of the presents that it wasn't really for me, it was for my dad. And I hated it. I was so scared of playing PlayStation 1 because of Tomb Raider. That's another story. But I actually was really into these two games. So Mulan from the Disney film Mulan and GT. The reason why I love these games, so with Mulan, you had your adventures and you could always come back to the same room where you could change the outfits of Mulan. And I used to spend hours changing the outfits of Mulan. And the second one, it was GT. Didn't really care about the race, but I had the coolest car ever. So that's what I used to do. Remember this story because it will come back later on. So in 2000, The Sims, the video game, was released. It was the first life simulation. It was one of the first successful life simulation games. I'm sure all of you know about it or have played with it. So The Sims, it was a life simulation game, as I already said, and you had an avatar. You could create your own life. You have a house. You have a relationship and a pet. And you have a virtual currency where you could purchase all these goods for your new house and your new neighbor. In 2003, Second Life took this and evolved the idea, and it was the first time where other users can also interact in this universe. So actually, Second Life, it was a virtual universe where people could interact with each other, where you were represented by an avatar, and you can use a currency to purchase goods. So actually, Second Life is the first example of a successful metaverse. Then in 2011, we had Minecraft, and in 2017, the most recent example is Fortnite. As you can see, all of them have the same things in common, as I already said. And bear in mind that The Sims and Minecraft are paid video games, so you need to purchase them to be able to play. But Second Life and Fortnite are completely free platforms. So where do they get the revenue from? Don't worry, we're going to look at it. And I was really curious to see how the advertising has been done in these platforms. And I took a company as an example, which is McDonald's. McDonald's created stores in The Sims where they even have like a custom food and drinks menu. They also have a store in Second Life. And in Minecraft, you could choose different characters. So you could be Ronald McDonald's or you could be McNugget. So this is how McDonald's has been doing the advertising in these platforms. And remember what I said before about Second Life and Fortnite being completely free platforms, and where do they get their revenue? Well, they get their revenue from here, from skins. So skins is the clothing or the character that you choose for your avatar. And Fortnite is a private company, so they don't share much data about how much revenue they do, but we do have some numbers. So Fortnite, what they have been doing is collaborating with big brands to create these skins. So in their partnership with NFL, they generate $15 million selling 3.3 million skins. For you to have an idea, the most successful collaboration was with Marvel, and the NFL one was the third one. So you can only imagine how much money they made with the Marvel collab. And then the other thing that they also been doing is free concerts in Fortnite. So in this case, Travis Scott generate $20 million revenue with only one concert from probably the comfort of his sofa. For you to have it in perspective, Travis Scott made $50 million with his tour. So you can imagine that people really want to start getting involved with this. Also, remember the story that I told you about Mulan and GT at the beginning? Something that I realized creating this presentation, and every time that I know more about the metaverse, is like, it may be a new platform, but there is things that don't change. And maybe 20 years ago, I spent all the time changing the outfit of Mulan, and people now are still doing exactly the same. And how brands are doing this? Well, this is the capsule collection that Zara launched in this past Valentine's Day. And it was a collection where you could go to the store and purchase the physical item for yourself, but you could also buy the same for your avatar. So you could wear exactly the same clothes. Then Nike is working together with Roblox. They launched Nikeland, which is a video game where you can play different sports, and everything is sponsored by Nike. And Pull & Bear also created a capsule collection, but in this case, is only for the metaverse and is only for your avatar. So now we are in the present. I'm sure you're thinking like, that's great, but I do not have the budget of Zara. I do not have the marketing team of McDonald's. So what can I do? Don't worry, I got you. So to look at the present, we need to go backwards a little bit, and we are going to the 27th of September of 1998. That yellow line there is a digital line, and it was in a broadcasting of a football game of NFL, and it's the first example of augmented reality in history. That evolved until 2014, so as you can see, it was a lot of time between one thing and another, where in April Fools, Google Maps and Pokemon partnership to create Pokemon Challenge. It was a game where you could go into Google Maps and you could catch different Pokemons. Obviously, Nintendo thought, oh, that sounds like a great idea. And 2 years later, they released Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is the leading free-to-play game in history. Only in the United States, they made a $4 billion revenue. So big, big numbers. Pokemon Go is the first example of how augmented reality can be very successful and how it can interact with our day-to-day and how it can be part of our lives. And guess who did advertising in the metaverse? Yeah, McDonald's. What I'm trying to show you with this is now, we don't have the budget of McDonald's and we do not have the marketing teams of McDonald's. But what I'm trying to show you with this is that we need to be creative. If we want to be part of these new platforms, we need to adapt. And we need to create different campaigns where it's native and people actually don't see that we are trying to sell them something. Think about it a little bit like doing advertising in TikTok. It doesn't interrupt the experience of the person. So by this time, I'm sure that you know that I'm talking about augmented reality. Tim Cook said in 2017 that augmented reality will change everything. So here's our QR code. If you please can take your phones out and scan this QR code, it will take you to Instagram, and where you will see a filter of my face. It's a filter that I created myself. I am no super technological. I do not have special skills. I haven't done any courses or anything like it, and I was capable to create that. So if I am capable to do that, you are capable to do that. But what I think is more interesting about the filters is the numbers that I got. So I didn't promote my filter at all. I haven't done any promotion. I haven't created any hashtag, well, I do now. But I didn't have any hashtag. I haven't done absolutely anything. And this is the numbers I got for only 2 months. So 8,600 people have opened my filter. 619 people have taken photos with it. And the one that scares me the most is that 2 people have used it during a video call. I really don't know who's been using my face during a video call, and I do not want to know. But I think it's really interesting of what a filter can do for your brand awareness and how it can be used. So this is just some examples of how brands have been doing this. We have Marks & Spencer's, where you can choose, what type of Christmas sandwich you are. FIFA, NBA, and of course, McDonald's. And if you are still not convinced, don't worry, I have some numbers for you. I know marketeers love numbers. So 4 times more engaging than mobile video. 80% of users follow a brand on Instagram after using a filter. Is 70% better memory recall than no augmented reality content. Is expected to generate 13 billion in 2023. And I think as a paid social expertise, that's the number that I like the most. Is only 3p per impression. So you actually don't have anything to lose. Just try it, create your filter, run a brand awareness, and see how it does. And these are some unicorns. I love unicorns. I know apparently they're not cool anymore. I read in LinkedIn the other day, but I do not care. I always put them in my presentation, and this time I asked you another of our best friends, DALL-E, the artificial intelligence program, to generate some unicorns in the metaverse, and this is what it came with. And the unicorns are taking us to the last part, which is the future. It is very difficult to say what is going to happen in the future. Artificial intelligence wasn't a thing like a couple of years ago, and now we're all talking about it. So to say something about what is going to happen in the metaverse, I'll be a fool. I'm not doing that. But I do actually have a clue of what maybe is coming. And what is coming, because it's a reality now, is this: virtual influencers. So this is Magazine Luisa, and she has 6.2 million followers in Instagram. She has done collaborations with really big brands like Samsung, like running a marketing campaign in Times Square, so you can only imagine. And I can only see this getting bigger and bigger and bigger in the future when people start getting more involved in the metaverse. But as a paid social expertise, what I was actually very interested is how this advertising is going to look in the metaverse. What restrictions are we going to have? We are in a moment where we don't have too much access to data anymore. So how is this going to look in the metaverse? So I found this article from Lydia Barger, where she talked about the importance of advertising in the metaverse. And she says that it's important because it enables conversational marketing, is trackable, and is immersive. And she got me with this. It's trackable. Yes, I can finally track some data. Great. And how can I track this data? I can do it in 3 ways. The first one is your primary data. So you're going to be able to have the access that we have now, your email addresses, your postcode, and all these things. But also two more things, which is physiological information. So you are going to be able to see if your avatar goes to the supermarket, which shelf is interested on. Is it top shelf? Is it bottom shelf? And also behavioral data, how the avatars are interacting with each other, what they talk about, what they are interested on. And she also talks about 3 strategies for those entering the metaverse. The first one is business to avatar. So forget about business to consumer, business to business. That's all. Now it's business to avatar. And this is an example. So Disney is creating a theme park where they are going to project personalized 3D images for the avatars in the metaverse. So as you can see, Disney is not thinking anymore about their consumers. They are thinking in these avatars and how they're going to interact with them. The second one is create NFTs. So for those of you who don't know, NFT is like the virtual representation of a real thing, and not even a real thing anymore. It can just be the virtual representation of something. And guess who is doing NFTs? Yes, you got it right, McDonald's. So the McRib is back at McDonald's and is also an NFT. And last but not less important, consider less traditional selling platforms. So if you want to be where the people are and people are interested in the metaverse, then you need to go to these platforms. So remember at the beginning of the presentation how I thought that advertising in the metaverse will look like? Now, I actually think it will look a little bit more like this.
Fun, please. Huh? Man, that's some targeted advertising.
And that's everything from me. Thank you very much.